and welcome. My name is Gail Moffat, and so we're going to have a couple of callers call in today, so that's good. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about what I've been doing today, which is actually quite exciting. So today, a friend of mine, Jane Lang, she's a psychic artist, and she also is experienced in astrology. And so she draws in an artistic way your astrology chart. And so I've got a little picture here I thought I'd share with you. Now, I don't know if, let me see. Oh, no, you're not going to be able to get it on. Sorry. I'm not going to be able to get it on the screen. But anyway, it's basically she's drawn all the moons and where they're positioned in the houses. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, what was so interesting about it was that it would be very difficult for anybody who has my chart to not be spiritual or do the work that I do, because it's all seems to be pointing to that. It's quite incredible, isn't it? How when we think about, when we get readings, we always think about how we can give predictions and how things can be, how our future is going to be. And with astrology, it really does map it out in a sort of more detailed way that, for the whole of your life. And it's just quite incredible. I found it quite exciting. Now, I've actually studied numerology, and numerology is fairly similar. That it's based on all the numbers and the and all the and how the numbers work with us. And what you do is you just take your date of birth, and then you add up all the numbers in your date of birth, and then you reduce it down to the smallest number, and that can give you a life path number, and it gives out all sorts of information, and you can actually work out where you will be from a numerology point of view on a year-by-year basis or a month-by-month basis. You can even get it down to an hour. How bizarre is that? Sometimes I think to myself, because I know when that God has given us free will, and so on some part, there is free will. But if you think about the planets that create all this energy, and numerology that is an energy, everything's an energy. And if you think about that energy, that we may have our free will, but we are being nudged and pushed and shoved. Not shoved, that's a bit too much of a harsh word, but we're nudged in the right direction with the planets and the numbers and what's sort of great about a show like this, with all the mediums and psychics that work on this radio. You can call in and you can just sort of see, get a sort of a voice from where you're at with your life, and are you on the right path? Because we do stray off our path, but Spirit do their utmost to sort of steer us back in that direction to get us to the point where we are back on path, because they want us to succeed on this. Yes, it's all very interesting, isn't it? Our life path and how does that work with Spirit? Yeah, an interesting concept. But I think we should go to some callers now, and I believe that we have Jennifer in Boise, Idaho. Are you there, Jennifer?
I am. How are you today?
I'm good. I've just been told it's not Boise, it's Boise. so I do apologize. Yeah, it's just, you can't help it when you're British. You make all these sort of mistakes. Anyway,
I thought it was very pretty the way you said it though. So it's all good.
oh, okay. Well, we'll stick to boys then, shall we? um, right. Well, anyway, where would you like me to focus? Would you like me to connect to a loved one in spirit, or would you like me to um, give you some guidance from my guides?
Um, I'm not in the right frame of mind to talk to my dad today. So, how about would it be okay to ask for some guidance?
Yes. Where would you like? Is there any where in particular that you'd like me to focus on, or?
Um, just kind of just yeah, I got out of a train wreck of a relationship, and I'm trying to pick myself back up, and
Oh,
I'm at a
oh,
point where I'm just kind of lost.
yeah. I know that feeling well. It's a few years ago, but I know it well. Um, right. Let me have a look and see what I can do for you. Right. Um, what I'm being told is, although this whole breakup has been very difficult for you, I'm being told that actually it was for the best. And
Oh
you
yes.
and you are far better off out of this situation than being in it. Does that make sense to you, Jennifer?
Oh, very, very much. It was very. It was it was
Controlling,
yeah.
controlling,
It was
controlling,
it was
selfish.
horrible.
Yeah, yeah. I
Horrible.
just I can feel all the aspects to him, and but I do feel that on some level you've learned a little bit about through having this relationship. There's something where you've grown. I don't know exactly where, but you've grown um, more than you possibly could have done if you hadn't have had this relationship. In other words, you're probably a very different person coming out than the one that you was going into the relationship.
Very much so at this point. I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing how it
Yeah.
came out, but I'm not the same person at all.
Yeah, I feel like you've grown quite a lot, and and I do feel that there's still a lot of wounds around you, and I feel like the wounds are quite deep, because I feel like there, on some level, there was some emotional um, emotional eh, what's the word? I thought I heard it. Emotionally abused through all of this. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because
I,
I feel
I
like he
don't.
could. Emotional cruelty, that's the word I was looking for. Cruelty.
It's almost. I've been through a lot of things in my life, but it feels like it was traumatic.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the only
uh,
word I can come up with.
yeah. And I've got a grandmother here, and she's giving me a big phew. Like, she's so relieved that this has come to an end, because there was one point where she was actually quite concerned for your safety. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yeah. There were plenty of times where I didn't want to go
Didn't feel
home, and
safe.
I was just like, I'd rather drive off a cliff.
Yeah, yeah.
That's that's how bad it was.
But yeah, I know that, and I know that there are a lot of wounds, and feeling a little bit insecure at the moment, and I know that there's a sort of a confusion in your mind as to actually what you really want. But what I'm being told is that you're about this particular stage right now is all about healing for you, and I'm being told that healing is really important for you to go on to the next stage of your life. because without this healing, you're not going to um, you're not going to sort of be able to sort of manage the next part of your life in the way that you would like. Um, I just feel that it's really important to get as much healing as possible. And what I'm being told is that there is spiritual healing coming to you, but I also feel there is a girlfriend that you have that I feel like there's a friend around, a female, that has been quite supportive and caring to you. Would that make sense to you?
She got me out of the situation. Yes, yes. She opened her home up to me and
Yeah,
allowed me to put back money and get into a place that where I live now. I mean, I would
yeah,
still be stuck, and if it hadn't been for
yeah.
her.
Yeah. And I know that she's going to be an integral part in your healing, because I feel like she talks a lot of common sense. And that's not to say that you don't have common sense, not at all. But I just sometimes think that when we're in this sort of situation, sometimes it's good to sort of sound off on a sounding board and hear what they have to say. Um, and it gives us confidence to believe in ourselves that we're thinking and doing the right thing. But I just feel that she's going to be a really good part of this healing process for you. Is there a young boy somewhere around here?
Um, I do have a son who's
Yes, a
not really
son.
a young boy anymore, but
Right,
he's special needs, so in his mind he's still very young.
right, okay. But I'm sensing him, and I just feel like there's I felt like there's that responsibility as well for you. Um, but I also feel that this this what you've gone through is I feel like it's almost an important part of your path. And you know who would want this? I know it's a challenge. I can feel how challenging this has been for you, but I know that your future, I feel, is going to be about helping others who are women in particular, who are in challenging situations, and I feel that you're going to be helping other people that are in similar situations to the one that you've just come from. Um, would that make sense to you?
Yep, yep, yeah. I'm the type of person, if I see somebody crying, even though it's a stranger, I'm
Yeah,
going to talk to them and I'm going to help out. So yeah, I am
but
one. If I see somebody struggling, I'm going to try to help.
yeah, I do feel that it's going to be you're going to. I feel like you may be attached to some sort of body or some organization where you will be working with them. I
Hmm.
don't know whether it's going to be like a full time thing or not. I don't know. But I just feel like there's going to be a part of you that's going to go out into the world and help other people as a result of what you've experienced. And I feel like I feel like you've experienced every negative aspect that you could possibly have in a relationship. It was quite a challenging time for you, and I just feel that you are. Um, I know that you're wounded, but spirit are telling me that you're going to get the healing because they want you to be able to be fit and well enough to help others that are in similar situation. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if you end up setting setting up something yourself. don't know whether it's setting up something yourself or working for somebody or just doing it on an isolated basis. But I know that this what you've just gone through is going to lead you to helping others. And I feel very strongly about that with you. But this time also is about healing, and I would say that within you still have wounds, but I just feel that this time next year you're going to be in a very different place emotionally, and a lot more stronger, because in a way this whole situation has weakened you, and you're going to get stronger, and I feel like that fighting spirit is going to come back, because I feel like it's there in you, that fighting spirit, and always has been. But I feel like it was dulled through this relationship, because of this emotional abuse that you have experienced. Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, very, very much so. I'm very tired, and
Yeah.
I've had somebody come forth who I just had an amazing connection with before all this went down, and he's tried to come forth again, and I
Can't
can't
go there. No, you're not
I
ready.
can't
There's
at
too many
all.
wounds. There's too many wounds. But what you could say is, look, um, I'm open to this, but not right now, because I need to get free from the past. But I just feel that in the future, I do feel that you will have a very loving, supported relationship, where it's completely the opposite to what you've just experienced. But what I'm being told is that spirit are preparing you for all the healing, and gaining back your strength, because it's strength that you need right now, because you are, it's almost like you're on the floor, you're on your knees with the wounds of this abusive relationship that you've just gone through, but you are going to come out of it rising up, in such a positive way. I hope that helps, Jennifer. um, Sadly, I've got another call waiting, and I'm sorry it's quite short, but I am on
I,
Facebook
I
if you want to find me.
I appreciate you opening up and sharing your gifts. I appreciate you for this opportunity. It's been so helpful. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for everything.
I think the main thing that you need to bring from this is you have gained from this. However awful it's been, you've gained, you've evolved from this. And number two, you're getting healing. Spirit are making sure that's going to happen. And three, there will be that great relationship in the future, and you will be helping people. So thank you for calling in, Jennifer.
And thank you for sharing your gifts.
Okay, bye bye. Right, so we have Laura in Emsworth, England. Are you there, Laura?
Hi, I'm here.
Hello and welcome to the show. Um, right, where would you like me to focus? I can connect a loved one, or I can look to give you some guidance. How would you like me to work?
I think loved one.
And is there anybody in
Lisa.
particular that you'd like to hear from, or?
I think my granddad.
Okay. Right. I've got a gentleman here that I believe is your granddad, and so what I will look to do is give evidence to prove to you that I've got him. Um, would you understand that he is quite a um, like a sweet man, very kind, and
Yeah.
very giving, and I feel like on some level he was your rock, when you were growing up. He was very supportive to you when there were times around in your life that you were wasn't so easy, but he was that rock. Does that make sense to
Yeah,
you?
definitely. Yeah,
And I think, and I do feel that if he'd have had his own way, he would have liked you to have been with him on a permanent basis, because he could see that it wasn't easy for you, your upbringing. And I also feel that um, he's saying to me that um, he has this deep, deep love for you. And part of the reason why there's a deep love with your grandfather is because there is a strong soul connection between you and him. In other words, you've lived it with other lives with him. And I just know that there is that strong. And he's really playful, isn't he? I feel like he's
yeah,
good
he is.
fun. Like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness, I feel like he'd want to play all the time. Um, and and I feel like a lot of your fondest memories is how he was so playful. And I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
keep
He
on,
did like to
and
muck
I keep
around.
on, yeah. Was he any good with woodwork, or did he
Yes.
make anything with wood?
Um, yeah,
You remember that? Because
yeah,
I'm seeing him. I'm seeing him with wood. So I just know that wood was. I wouldn't know one end of a saw to another and what to do with it, but I just feel that he can do that. He can do things with
yeah,
wood.
yeah,
A-
yeah,
and I feel like he's quite hands on with his hands. He can make this or create this, or he can do things that. So he's quite sort of hands on in a way. And I feel that's a memory of him.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, he's making me look at your mother. Would I be right in saying that your mother was his daughter?
Yeah,
Right. Because um, he's making me look at her, and I feel like on some level he's a little bit disappointed. Um,
yeah,
um, you'd understand that, would you, Laura?
yeah, definitely.
And he's saying to me, this wasn't the way he brought her up,
Yeah,
and he feels that on some level, has let the family down, and is quite upset with um, how she sort of how she has been, and and in addition, how she was a mother to you. Um, and he feels that he also is saying to me that he wishes that he was still alive as well, because he's saying to me that you could still do with him being around you. And he's saying to me that you think about him nearly almost every day, because there is such a strong love, and you miss him so much because he was that rock for you in your life.
yeah, definitely. It really was.
Oh, it's nice that you had him, isn't it? How lucky you were to have him. Uh, and I also feel that he's drawing my attention to your grandmother, and I feel that she was quite quite sweet as well. But I feel it's your grandfather that you had that strong connection with.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And she was nice, but the bond was with your grandfather. And
Yeah,
also, would you understand a dog in spirit,
yeah. There's a couple.
and that was linked to your grandfather?
Yeah, yeah,
Because he's telling me he's got the dogs, and they're with him, and he's really pleased to let you know, because he knows that you would have worried about what's happening to the dogs, where's the dogs going. He knows that that's how you would have been, and you would have
Yeah.
worried about them because you had a real strong attachment to these dogs, and he's saying that he's got them. He's also showing me mathematical equations, and I know that with that I feel like he knew maths, and he was quite
Yeah.
good at teaching you maths as well. And he
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
sometimes teach you, help you with homework, or help you, teach you things himself. And he was so patient, so incredibly patient and calm in his teaching, that you
Yeah.
felt quite relaxed with him when he would teach you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in your grandfather's house, was there a piano?
No, I think the cool one. He had a few houses.
Pardon? He had what? Sorry.
He did have a couple of houses, but not while I was growing up. Not that I remember.
Okay. Um, I'll put that on the shelf then, because I don't know what that's about. Because
Yeah.
I saw a piano and I didn't know, I don't know what that's about. But anyway, um, also, can I did he? I feel like there's a nice garden as well with him.
Yes. Yeah, he loved to
I I,
garden.
I I feel like it was really quite pretty as well. And
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of flowers in the garden, and I feel like it's more of a um, like there's a real emphasis on the beauty of the garden rather than other things.
Yeah.
And I feel also
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
couple of trees in the garden, and they may even be fruit trees
Yeah.
that I'm seeing. And also there was, I feel like there's a little path, little paving slabs, just little slabs, and then and grass all around it, and stepping stones throughout the garden. And I just feel that there was something at the bottom of the garden that is of interest. I don't know whether it's a gate into a field or something, or there's something at the bottom of the garden, or a river or a stream, or something. There's something that I know that I'm being drawn to the end of the garden. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah. He did. He did do his new garden, and he added an extra bit onto the end where you could sit and stones and a fountain and things.